Hello, everybody. I am coming at you a little bit later on this afternoon. I wanted to do a little bit of a different video than I've been doing. Like many of you, constantly consuming lots of different information and stuff like that out there. I had a couple of videos that I really wanted to talk about and share. I will put the links in the description and highly suggest there's a couple of them, if not all of them, I would follow the channel. So, without any further ado, let's jump right into it. So we've got this guy is Money Rules. He's also the guy who runs The Modern Investor. He's got a really awesome book that just came out about real estate. Even though I'm not really into real estate, it's a pretty good read. He talks about in this video, how tons of companies are still buying. We just had this massive dip that just happened. Lots of people selling to get out, lots of retail selling to get out, and you've got the companies that are just still buying, and they're announcing, trades in the tens and hundreds of millions of dollars. So that's always alarming to see whenever the price is going down and they're popping in. It's alarming in a good way, I guess. At least they're not the ones who are, selling. A company by the name of Strive. That's not Stripe or Strike. There's lots of similar names out there. They are buying more Bitcoin. They just announced that they are hoping to raise $500 million in stock options to do so. So basically, they have the same model as Strategy. You're going to see lots of companies mimicking Strategy and coming up. Strike is actually based out of Dallas. So if you watched any of my other videos, I talked about, how Wall Street is quickly leaving New York, or, diversifying, and Dallas is definitely one of the big ones that they are running into. Um, so yeah, companies are reporting that they are bullish on Bitcoin. They're not, a lot of analysts are still coming out saying prices may dump down a little bit, but by end of year they're still talking about things like double the price of what it was last year, double the price of the high, which was 126. So altcoin ETFs. I don't know if you guys saw, but probably about 5 months ago, the SEC basically said that ETF rules had changed, and that if options trading leverage on your altcoins had been, I think it was 6 months, but if you had been on a major exchange as an altcoin and you had been sell in like the options market for 6 months, then you would qualify for an ETF. Used to, they had all sorts of stipulations. Used to, they wanted you to apply. They wanted to look into all sorts of things. Now it's basically immediate approval. He goes on to talk about how 90 approvals or applications are set to come through here pretty soon. And he's just a really fantastic person to watch on the daily. He's consistent, both videos. He talks a lot about just kind of compiling the news, kind of like I do. I like this little part that he has right here. So let me move myself out of the way. Da, 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 da. Oh, that's not flattering. One second.
We have now entered into, if you've missed the last 2 months of videos, we've now entered into a very small corner that of these what these companies are constantly talking about. It is namely Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Solana. We don't have much Cardano news. There's barely any Tron news. There's Tether news, but that revolves around stablecoins. There aren't many other altcoins, if not any, that are entering the cryptocurrency news space anymore. Unless it's like a meme coin that someone's trying to launch, or people talking about Dogecoin and Shiba Inu and how they want their prices to go back up. We seemingly only have 4 coins at the moment. Not even Litecoin being mentioned. Polygon's not being mentioned either. They still will exist, yes, but the corporations and the companies seemingly are focused on 4 different chains. And that's a lot of where the
So those four
conversation
coins are
lies.
basically the biggest ones in the news. Like he says, altcoins are not going to die, but they're not going to be as popular as they were. I have a feeling that as this market continues on and as things like tokenization and stuff like that happen, you're going to see altcoins massively die. Lots of these scam coins, meme coins, things like that, the money's going to be pulled out of them so quickly because the other coins are going to be more efficient. They're going to grow. They're going to have yield. They're going to have all sorts of functionality behind them. So you're really going to see the competitive market destroy a lot. So definitely stay in the top tier and know what you own. I mean, if you're going to own an altcoin, that's fine, but know what you own. Know how many there are. Know who's behind the project. Know what the project stands for. Probably could do a video on that. This next video kind of ties into a lot of what I am talking about right now. I foresee a massive reset coming. This is a fantastic video. Let me move me out of the way. How do I move me out of the way? I'll turn the camera off for a minute. So this is Vandal. He is amazing. I am obsessed with him. I just recently came across him. I recommend watching the whole video. I am not going to really show any of this video, but it's 19 minutes. It's well worth it. He talks about, you know, the thing that I really think that is important that he goes over is, you know, Japan and other economies, they're selling bonds. The bonds, you know, if you don't know, bonds are U.S. debt. That's how we manage our debt. That's how we justify our debt. And people are selling it left and right. I think China just came out advising their banks to not issue it. So, you know, this guy really goes into a lot of that I find to be very interesting. The U.S. is acting like nothing's happened. You know, Pam Bondi the other day was in front of the Senate. You've got, you know, the speaker. You've got all these people in the government right now, which I'm a fan of this administration, but they are definitely talking about how, you know, the S&P is up and the Dow just hit $50,000, which has never happened, and they said it would never happen, and you know, it's smokescreen to me. I think that they know what's really coming. Our debt grows by $1 trillion every 100 days. That's not interest. That's the debt. The interest on that debt is insane. We're at a point where we can't tax our way out of it. We can't increase the taxes on people. It would be detrimental to the economy by doing that. First of all, those people wouldn't be spending so much money into the economy, but also no tax on them would be enough to cover what's going on. So then you look at the other side of the spectrum and you think, well, maybe we could lower our budget. Maybe we could look at cost cutting things, which a lot of our government could be cut, and that's what they're doing. But a lot of that was fraud, anyways. But that's beside the point. The debt is so bad that we can't cut our spending out of it either. So the two options that we have are not viable. So there is a third option, and that third option is to devalue the currency. And how are they going to do it? Well, this time I think they're going to do it with crypto. I think they're going to do it with this amazing new technology that's coming in, and it's very similar to what they did with gold. I mean, I don't know if you remember, well, we weren't, most of us weren't around, but you know, the US government literally forced people to give them their gold. And the very next day they revalued it, which devalued the price of the dollar. Um, it doesn't seem like a strategy on the surface that seems right, especially if you don't understand economics, but it is a strategy that works in this sense. And also, not to say that you don't understand economics. I mean, the current economic and financial system that we have is not real. So it's, you know, you could understand economics all you want, and still the current system is kind of out there. Um, this video is really good. I'm definitely going to put this in the description. The next one is, this is a very long video. This video was no, this one's not very long. This one's just 30 minutes. This is Andre Gite. He is amazing. He is talking about the next phase of the New World Order. It kind of goes along with this guy and what he was talking about as well. Andre is amazing too. He's got 3 million subscribers. He lays things out in a way that I just can't. And so I continue to push people to watch him. This next one, I watched the entire thing. This was an hour and a half. This is Diary of a CEO. I love this guy. This guy, he is talking about right now the same thing. Basically, it's I find this one fascinating because we talk about reset, we talk about financial reset and a big change coming. And if you want to look at actual events that are happening, this video is perfect. He literally goes into Venezuela, Greenland. He goes into, after the World Wars, what kind of world that we had set up and how that world is kind of coming down now and what the new multilateral or multipolar world will be. So this is a really fantastic watch. And then my last one is you've probably seen clips of this. This is the full interview. I will link it as well. This is Musk at Davos for the WEF. I found this to be really good. And he's with Larry Fink. So Larry Fink is a big guy, the CEO of BlackRock. So if you don't know who they are, what hole have you been in? But yeah, this is a really really good interview. He's talking about when we're talking about a reset and we're talking about all these things, you have to conceptualize and wonder what would that new world look like. This man is what that new world looks like. He is going to be leading AI. He's going to lead robots. He's going to lead automation in factories. It's going to be insane. He's probably going to be leading most things in space for sure. Um, and the great thing about him right now, with everything that's going on, because I am so terrified of AI, but trying to bend the knee, is, the thing I love about Musk is a humanist at the end of the day. So he definitely believes in preserving and enhancing the species. So it's not, some of these people who are running some of these AI companies, they are not humanists at all. Sam Altman is one of them. So I definitely support him, and I think this was a very fascinating, video. So I'm going to do another video here in a little bit with some news as well and post that. But these are just some videos that I found really interesting. I think you guys should follow them. This is definitely media that is healthy and good to be consuming right now, to be able to navigate the world. So like, comment, and subscribe, and see you later.